What's up, y'all? We here for another stream. We're gonna get started in a little bit. All right. So the first thing we do when we hop on the charts, let me just show y'all, is we look at if we have any news. The only news we had was on CAD news at 8:30, which is 8:30 right now. So we're gonna look into my accounts. Where is it? This is my first account. We still in drawdown right here. We recognized we were making some mistakes, and I ended up correcting it. I talked about it yesterday because I noticed I'm on a losing streak that is bigger than normal. So I ended up reviewing the trades. So that's what I did, and I noticed some of my entries. What was wrong with some of my entries, and I didn't realize. And here's my other account. We are really in a deep drawdown, close to the max drawdown on this. So we're gonna follow the system, follow the rules, and see what we do. So if I go to the charts right here, let me see what's going on. Bitcoin looks like it's in a pretty good area. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, never mind. Bitcoin looks a bit extended. It looks a bit extended to me. So what I want to see, because look right here, we have validation break of structure 5 right here. So I expect for price to just reflush down before creating another setup. So gold, I'm actually not interested right now. I mean, I said gold, Bitcoin. US 30. It looks ugly. For US 30, right now it's not quite ready because it's just in an ugly spot. If it can come up a bit more pause against the 10 and 20, then I can see what it's talking about. GBP USD, there's nothing to do because it's not in the correct context for lower time frame entries. Gold, not ready right now because of where the 5 hour is. I want to move to start out with this 5 hour. USD JPY. Not interested. Not interested in Starbucks. Meta, I could be bullish on it. There's some ugly price action. Meta, I'll say Meta. Let me see. I'm trying to see how clean it looks. Like, we have a flush. We have 1, 2. This whole thing can be considered 3. I'll wait price like till 9:30 to actually decide, because that's where the stock market opens. So yeah, honestly, so far, okay, US30 starting to make a move. So honestly, I would probably just wait a little bit. So the main one that I'm really waiting for, I'll say it would be US30. Now just looking at it, US30, probably like the main one. Meta, not too confident about it because it's like, yeah, we're pausing, but it's like it's weird in this area. It looks like weak compared to US. I mean US30 looks, yeah, it looks a little bit stronger. Let me see something. What is cute? It looks. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? I'm looking at US 30 today out of my watch list, so I'm just waiting patiently for something to happen. I'm just waiting for this type of movement for price to push up a bit more and pause on the 10 and 20. So that's it. What's up, man? What's up? Really nothing much um that's moving clear on my watch list. So what I'm like expecting now for this candle just opened up is I want, let me see how clear it looks. I mean, if it can make a clean pause, so this candle like prints on the MAs before taking out this high, if it's, it would have to be like a clean straight, like straight movement down to that 50. Yeah. Or if it pushes higher then pauses later on. How many pairs do I do you mean like trading in total? If you're talking about trade in total, um it depends. Like I look at any market, so it doesn't matter what market it is. Or do you mean like how many pairs do I trade at the same time? Cuz I trade a lot of markets. It's whatever looks in the clearest context in terms of what my strategy looks for. Cuz with my strategy all I'm doing is I'm waiting for momentum. So not every market is going to have that type of momentum. So when that market is not clear for me, I have to look at another market that is clear instead of trying to force something that's not there on the markets that are not. Like an example is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an example right here. So I didn't get to catch this move right here, unfortunately. But I did mark this out. I was expecting this. It's just I took some break evens and losses in the area, even though the price went in my direction. So this is an example of a market condition I wouldn't trade right now because it's overextended in my eyes. So I would look at a different market. Because if you know how I trade, I talk about it on the streams. But after we get the flush, we get 4 to 5 breaks of structure, right? We have a flush right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. So I wouldn't trade this area because the market is most likely gonna reset before trying to make a move. So that's what I mean. Like I look at the markets first and see what the condition is telling me. Another one is let's see, GBP/USD. I'm bullish on it based on the higher time frames. But I can look at this and say, oh, I'm not going to trade GBP/USD even though I'm bullish on it because of multi-time frame analysis. So that's what I mean. The overall context of the market is good for bullish, but for a shorter time frame, I wouldn't hop on a 5 minute right now, even though on the 5 minute it's showing some bullish price action. I wouldn't consider this because of where the higher time frame is right now. This could easily chop around for a bit, so I want proof, basically. So same. Yeah. I feel like it's good when you can identify the market condition and trade multiple markets. It's like a misconception that if you trade more multiple markets, it's more confusing, but it's pretty easy for me. Like, as you can see, my strategy is pretty simple. I'm just waiting for just a cycle. That's why it's simple. Just wait for the market. It's a cycle plus waiting for the market to be one sided. So it's like I'm never confused whether I should be taking buys or sells because I just look at the overall market and I'd be like, okay, what are we doing overall? Oh, we're moving up. I only want to see buys, so I'm gonna ignore the any short-term price action. Wait for a bit of momentum get involved. I mean, wait for a bit of momentum to prove itself before getting involved. But yeah, let me go back to US 30 because that's the only one on this watch list that I'm even looking at. Like, let me see what's going on here. I didn't even look at it over here. Let me see like what's going on over here. Nvidia. I ain't look at Nvidia. I mean, we can look for some buys based on this weekly, and then price on the daily ended up breaking up higher. It could be the start of something. We look at a 5 hour. We had a flush. Price came up, paused. Price came up, paused. This is probably the second one on the context time frame. If I'm looking at a lower time frame, like the 30 minute, it wouldn't be ready as of yet to step down on a 5 minute because of the context of where price is in. So I would need a bit of proof first, like that. So yeah, Nvidia not even ready yet. So yeah. And based on my other analysis, y'all can probably see why I'm looking at US 30 on this validation time frame as well. Because you can see we came down, we made the move, we're flushed, we're not doing anything. This is what I would consider like a no trade zone right here for lower time frame traders. And then this is the first bit of proof right here. You could argue that it is pausing. I mean, this broke back through, but this is like the move upwards right here. So I'm just waiting for that pause. So it's the same thing on repeat. And then what I've been doing on my own time, I've been just collecting more data on based on what I've based on my journal on my entries. Because like I said yesterday, I talked about in my stream that I've been on a longer losing streak than I'm used to. Because I'm used to around like an 8 losing streak. But me looking back at my losing streak, I think I'm on a 11 losing streak, like I talked about yesterday. So that gave me a signal to look over my journal to see if there's something I overlooked in terms of my entries. So yeah, so I talked about that and I basically corrected that. So I've been just collecting more data on what I observed based on the total number of trades I taken. And this is why I say it's very important to journal, because how you're gonna know what to fix if you can't look back at anything. So right now it's just really just a waiting game for me. I don't even expect to take any trades like always. My initial mindset is just my job here is just to analyze the charts and see if there's a market worth taking. If there is, I'll take it. Let me know if y'all have any questions. By the way, um, it could be for anything relating to. I wouldn't say to other strategies because the only strategy I really know like that is mine. I did trade some other concepts back in the like a couple years ago, but haven't traded those in a while, so I wouldn't be able to speak on other strategies and stuff like that. But anything, if you do happen to trade my strategy, I could talk more about that. If you stuff with certain stuff with psychology, I can help out with that. Or if you want to ask about certain stuff I do in certain situations, how do I handle that? how do I deal with drawdown in terms of percentage risk? Um, I try to keep my risk the same. Cause with me, I like having my risk the same because think of trading in math. If I'm on a losing streak and I can just follow my system and let my RR, um, like my winners be bigger than my losses with my strategy, then I can eventually get out of drawdown. For specifically prop firms, like I won't lie, with the prop firms, it's very harder in terms of getting out of drawdown for me, because usually when I'm in a drawdown for a prop firm account and I'm closer to that 8, like 7, 8, 9%, I'll tend to lower my risk, which is something I really want to avoid, because usually when I lower my risk, that's usually when I will get like a winner and it's not enough to cover some of my losses. So that's something y'all have to see me try to actually handle as well, because I ain't gonna lie, it is pretty difficult for me. I haven't lost much prop firm accounts, but when it comes to like a hefty drawdown that I'm going through right now, I tend to lower my risk at just at the end. Like right now, let me see. Let me show y'all my 5%ers account right here. Like as you can see, I'm really close to hitting that 10% max drawdown. So I really try to avoid this, but I have my risk reduced temporarily until I can get back into the groove, and then I will slowly increase my risk back up just to save the account. But if it's just a regular account with no max drawdown, because I have another account with Dorinex, and it's just you could think about it like a hedge fund. You're trading they and if you basically you trade and it doesn't have a max drawdown, you just trade your strategy, and as long as you're making money on that account, investors can give you capital, like real capital, to actually trade and stuff like that. So I prefer that in terms of like just looking at my strategy as a whole, because I don't gotta change my risk because of being worried about that 10% drawdown. So that's one thing I will say. But it's still like how I typically handle it. Like I said, I lower my risk, but just you can't let it really affect you too much, because I talked about this in my stream before. As long as you're following your rules, you're following your strategy, even if you hit the 10% drawdown, that doesn't make you a bad trader, because the 10% drawdown is there for a reason. It's a decent amount, but even if you are profitable, you can hit that 10% drawdown really easily. There are traders with 15, 20% drawdown on times, but still are profitable over the long run, even though it's not ideal. But it still also depends on your risk management as well to be hitting those type of drawdowns. The good thing about these live streams is that y'all can see me in real time actually handling that type of drawdown. So and another thing as well on top of that is just making sure you're not making the same mistakes. Like I talked about, I ended up reviewing my journal and all that. So that's another step you could take as well to ensure that the trades that you are taking are worthwhile. And if there's a common pattern with your losers versus your winners, and certain stuff like that. So do you think there should be also a minimum risk, not only max risk? Um, Honestly, it all depends. Like for minimum risk, it all depends on the trader and what their goals are, because like some people may wanna do a 0.25% risk, but it all depends. Maybe that trader doesn't want to do a 0.25% risk because their capital may not be that much, so they might want to trade with a 1% risk. So I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer. It just depends on the trader. But the only thing I feel like is there definitely should be a max risk. That's the only thing, but not necessarily a minimum risk. Like even if the trader wanted to risk 0.10% of their account, that's what they feel comfortable, and if they wanna increase it over time, that's perfectly fine. Like the only disadvantage to lowering your risk is you're making less money, but there's still a huge upside to it, because you have to weigh the advantages and disadvantages. There's a huge upside because you ensure that you actually stay in the game longer than people that have these huge risk. Because staying in the game all starts with consistent risk management. If you can't understand the risk management part, it doesn't matter if you even had 3 good months, 6 good months, even a year good months. If you just one day decided to throw out that risk management, you're gonna go back to square one. So lowering that risk gonna give you like more opportunities, not more opportunities, but more trade ideas. Like the first thing you should always be thinking about is how can I protect my downside risk. So anytime you're looking for a trade, is what is my downside? Is this worth taking or anything like that? There is one time where I will actually intentionally reduce my risk, and that's if I decide to take a scaling position. I've been observing those. I haven't taken a scaling position in a while because I was for a long time. I was getting used to just taking one entries at a time. That was like for 3 years. That's all I've been doing, just taking just an entry at a time, not adding any other entries. But I'm getting good at spotting in some potential scaling entries. So what I would specifically do for a scaling is, let's just say if I'm risking 1% on a trade and I find a scaling opportunity, instead of increasing my risk, which a lot of traders, when they find another opportunity, they would increase their risk. I will actually lower my risk on the second trade. So one of the requirements for scaling is my first trade has to be at break even, because think about that. The first trade is risk free, so you can add another position, and then the second trade that I'm taking has to be at a lower risk. Um, Typically like probably like 0.25%. So if the second position ended up losing, all I will lose is just the 0.25. And if it ends up going in your favor, that's an increased amount of risk because of the original position of 1%. So it's about thinking like, that's what I mean by thinking about your downside as well as the upside. If you can notice that there's a thought process between like actually thinking about scaling in, what am I going to do? What is the risk? And what is the downside? What is the potential reward? Because that's all business is just like that. And then one good thing to talk about too is your trading strategy. Like, one thing you can realize is you can improve your trading strategy. A lot of traders think when if the result that they got is not good, right? So one of the methods one of my teacher had taught me before was this. There's this rule called the rule of 1R, right? And that's basically if you follow your system for about 50 trades, and you just expect to be up 1R. And even though it's not a lot of R, right? The thing is, you're practicing implementing, like, following your rules, and all you're expecting throughout your losses, your break evens, is just to be up 1R after 50 trades. So let me explain this real quick. um Most traders are losing traders. That's one thing you have to understand. Number two, most of the times you're gonna be up more than 1R. And number three is you can always improve a strategy. A lot of traders don't. It's like business. Damn, did my voice correct? It's like business. If there's a certain product that you see there's life in that could potentially get you more sales, you're gonna try to do different things to help it boost the sales. It's the same thing with trading. Even if it makes a little bit of profit, look back at your journal and see what you could do to optimize your trading so it can get better results, basically. And if you had the possibility, what about going to be if you had the possibility, what about go to be with the first and enter the second with full risk? Oh, I think you mean like if the you had the possibility go with the first. Do you mean like the first entry I take is not at full risk, and then if I find a scaling opportunity, I'll enter with the rest of the remaining risk? Like, an example is if I'm risking 1%, if I have a 1% trade idea, the first entry I'll initially risk 50%, wait, half a percent, and then if I get the scaling, risk half a percent. Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, I wouldn't necessarily do it for my strategy, only because would you break even the first position? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I said that if I take the initial first position, that one of the requirements is that first position has to be at break even before taking a scaling entry. Yeah, it has to be at on break even. Cause think about it now. If I scaled in and I didn't move my stop loss at break even for the first one, now the full open risk on that trade is 1.25 in the example I gave. If I'm risking 1% for the first trade, and then the second trade is a 0.25% risk. That's an open risk of 1.25. So we have to keep in mind that the market can do anything. So the market can stop us out of both trades. So in that case, you will take a huge loss of 1.25 if you're it's not really a huge loss, but if your typical risk per trade is 1%, you just took a bigger loss when that could have been avoided. So yeah. That's probably the one of the best risk management styles I like is on just moving your stops to break even, and if you find another opportunity lowering the risk, that's really powerful. We got 28 minutes for this candle to close. Wait, what happened up here? Actually, it already paused right here while I was talking. So I can actually look at this area to see what's going on for an opportunity. Yeah, this did what I was expecting of if it falls down cleanly. I will say, let me see if I could draw this out. I mean, it had a straight move down to the 50, so I could potentially wait for something right here. Like I said, based on my entries, I noticed that the lower entries at the bottom are usually the best, because the ones at the top usually just reflush out and then set up again. So yeah. And then while I'm waiting for that, let me just relook at everything. Yeah, this is out of that stage one. I'm making sure like everything is aligning with what I want to see. Flush. This is the first one. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I can't trade it on a trade copier because of different pricing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this over here. I'm gonna open up US 30 so I can get the market prepared, so I don't gotta be rushing between both accounts. Like I said, I did lower my risk. I didn't lower my risk before, but I'm deciding to lower my risk just because these are funded accounts. I'm close to it, so I'm gonna see if I can do some type of risk management style to save it. And then here, just get everything ready. So probably like if it can set up just right here, it's kind of pushing a little bit too much. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just ignore this area because it's kind of like just leaving too much right now. Yeah, unless it can do something like this where, let me see, I gotta keep in mind of what the higher time frame is doing. Unless we can do something like this where we're coming back down like this. If we came back down here and then made a smaller setup right here, then I'll take that trade because it's a lower part of this range right here. Hopefully that made sense. And this is one of them areas is if price like fails too much, let's say if price ends up dropping like right here, then price would be completely invalid because of where we are on the on validation time frame. Because at that point, price would be reflushing down on this higher time frame. So this is just like the beginning stages of a potential trend. So I have to keep in mind that price, it can either fail or on go right here. Those type of areas. Yeah, if we can close like that, if we can close under this 20 right here, that would be even better if I can get like that type of entry there. All right, so we got that movement on that I was looking for. So let's see if we can make an a setup down here. And then we gotta also make sure it's looking valid on this higher time frame. Let me highlight where I am so I know where exactly. This is that stage one, which is just a consolidation period. And I'm just expecting that markup. What do I think the best prop firm is at the moment. Um, Honestly, I haven't tried much prop firms, so I can only speak on the prop firms that I tried. Five percenters is a good one because they've been in the industry since 2016. They haven't given me any issues. Uh, payout payout took a week for me, but other than that, like 5 percenters is good. I would say them, but I try not to recommend prop firms anymore. I used to recommend prop firms, the ones I was using to people back in like 2023. But ever since the whole thing with specifically forex prop firms not paying people out sometimes, and then some of them was shutting down during that year, I just ended up stop recommending prop firms because I don't want somebody to go to a prop firm and then it ends up like shutting down because I don't want that to be my type of responsibility or anything like that. So I just always try to avoid recommending a specific prop firm, but it's just a prop firm I use. I wouldn't really be able to tell you what the best one is. There are some good videos online about some prop firms, but there's some key things that to look for a prop firm. That's that's one topic I forgot to talk about. Like, what do I look for before joining a prop firm? Because one mistake I see a lot of people is they will hear about a prop firm and they will immediately just buy the prop firm because they have accounts. When there's more to it, you have to first check if the prop firm is reliable. There's gonna be videos online. Make sure that people are getting paid out. You can join their Discord and everything. See if they're having any complaints, certain stuff like that. Um, are they a big name? If I don't know that, because I've been in the trading industry since 2020, so if I most likely if you don't know about them and you've been in there for a while, um, you might as well just not go for them. Do you still use Finitive? I lost my Finitive account. I talked about it on stream before. I don't know if you was there, but I ended up losing the Finitive account. I, it didn't matter because I still ended up making money from the whole year that I had it. But I can't rejoin Finitive funding anymore because they stopped accepting U.S. clients sometime, I think early 2024. They had stopped. I did Definitive Funding. I had stopped promoting them because I like they're decent, but they had started giving me issues with my payouts when I was on my it was I think it was I forgot what number payout, but I think it was one of my payouts. I had the video on my channel. It was a payout video that I had in 2023. I don't know if I was on my eighth payout or I think it was like the eighth payout or seventh. I requested a payout and they reduced my split to 10%. So their rule, the agreement was a temporary split of 25%, because there was a feature called the account reset. That's when you're deep in drawdown, you can reset your account back to the original balance, but your profit splits will be temporarily, not permanent, but temporarily at 0.25%. So, all right, I'm working my way back up. So, because basically they use the 75% to pay back your virtual losses, and then that's when they revert it back to the original split. So I'm taking my trades, taking withdrawals. My plan is to get back to the my original profit split, and I'm getting close to paying back all of it. And then they reduced my, I think it was the second to last one I needed, and to 10%. So I ended up contacting them about it, the CEO. They did end up fixing it, but it took like so much like talking to people on Discord because I felt like it wasn't fair. I felt like they had saw that I was close to um paying back all the virtual losses. So I ever since then I have made it clear that I stopped promoting Definitive Funding because I really did like the firm like that. I don't know how they're doing now because I haven't been able to. I can't buy another account. Just a little story. Cause if you look at my channel, I used to make a lot of videos about them because that's the at the firm at that time that was the firm that I was with. I had the most payouts with them because like I was only trading with them. I only had one account, 150K account, and that's it. No problem, man. No problem. Like I feel like transparency is really king. That's what my channel is about. Cause there's no point of being not being transparent, Cause I'm not a perfect human being. But if I can help somebody based on my experience, I'll help. So stuff like that. Let me see what's going on in a higher time frame. Honestly, I don't really like how price is moving right now. It looks like it can flush down to continue a stage one. So what I'm thinking instead is it will probably be worth my risk, like a better type of risk, if I waited for price to prove itself even more before making a decision because of the story of price right now. So one thing you got to notice about the story of price can always change with one candle, or just a few candles. Because if we go back when I first hopped on the session, around right here, price was right here, and I needed to just observe it, right? And then this right here, this candle is what made me think that price was ready. You see how this candle like is pushing up, the MAs are starting to rise. So I just needed that pause, right? But now you can see the MAs are starting to move like sideways. Price is coming back down. So it's like a 50-50 chance of this thing working. So this thing is like it can either fail down or it can either set up from this area. So the thing about it is I don't think I'm really willing to take the risk on this particular trade, especially since I've been on this losing streak right now. I don't think I'm really actually willing to take that risk because that has a 50-50 chance of working. So what am I willing to take a risk on? I would probably just wait for price. Even though it's more waiting, right? I have to protect my downside. So I'll wait for price to start another move. And then if it can pause again against the 10 and 20, that's when I can look for another setup. It'll probably even look more clean. And even though if this ended up working, even though I probably would have missed the bottom one, that's completely fine with me because this can also fail as well. And if this fails, I can end up avoiding a potential loss or unnecessary break even or whatever. So I'm gonna stop looking at what time is it? It's 9:50. How long do I expect that move to potentially happen? So if I'm assuming this candle closes at 10 o'clock, like we still got this could still happen within the session, depending. Like if it doesn't fall back down, if it ends up flushing back down like completely where it breaks the 20 and breaks the 50, then I feel like it may not happen in this session because typically when you have this type of movement where price is in the stage one, yeah, it can break out at any time, but typically it's gonna take a while. It's gonna do some chopping around first before breaking out. So that's stuff I'm keeping in mind before I'm making a decision. Yeah, it's not in the FTMO is not in the US no more, unfortunately. Like I would have definitely bought a challenge with FTMO. I only bought one challenge in the beginning of my journey. I talked about it before from them. I had a free trial challenge from them. Like my first ever challenge was a free trial. and then my I immediately I thought I was making money on it without realizing I had hit the max drawdown and daily drawdown. So I ended up buying my first account in 2021, the beginning of it with FTMO. But ever since then, I haven't got another FTMO account. And by the time I wanted it, they didn't accept U.S. clients anymore. So that's unfortunate. The one thing I really struggle with is trying to find mainly these prop firms, because me personally, I don't really like the style of the futures prop firms because of their trailing drawdown. Because I feel like trailing drawdown is just set up for the trader to fail, because every trader has a drawdown period. So I don't like the idea of your it trails up even if it's right at zero. It doesn't make sense to me, because trading is already, you gotta understand that trading is already hard enough. So a trailing drawdown just makes it even more stressful. That's why even though I'm in the USA, I'm just trying to find UCFD prop firms, because at least most of them have just a static drawdown. Which gets me back to, I didn't even finish my thing I was talking about for prop firms. Before going for a prop firm, not only do you need to see if it's a reliable firm, there's some couple steps that you got to do as well. You have to look over all the rules. I literally do this for every single prop firm. Before I purchase a prop firm challenge, I look over all the rules. And what you have to make sure is the rules align with your current strategy. Because a lot of the times I will see a trader, they will get an account just to lose their account from an unexpected rule. So you don't want to be the trader that loses your account from an unexpected rule because you didn't read the rules. So for me, the things I look for before joining a prop firm, so leverage is one thing depending on the time frame. So previously I used to trade the 15-minute and 1 hour. I did that the whole year of last year, only for a year, and the leverage wasn't too much of a big deal. But if you're a lower time frame trader, you need to make sure you have enough leverage, maybe a 1 to 100 leverage, because you can't be trading with a firm that has a 1 to 30, because now when you're on the lower time frames and you want to execute the risk that you want to execute, then it's not going to really work. So one of the issues I have right now, since I switched to a lower time frame right now, I think 5% for Bitcoin doesn't even have a high leverage. So sometimes I can't even execute the risk I want to and stuff like that. Another thing I would look at is the news trading rules. I don't trade news, but I want to make sure what is the rules behind it. If I'm in a trade, am I am I even allowed to be in a trade? I will likely close the trade, but I want to see is there any rules about news, basically. So one news that I like is the 5 minutes or the 3 minutes before news or 5 minutes after news, because I typically wait for news to pass first. If it's very close to my trading session, I wait for it to pass before taking a trade. So I want to see if I need to wait 3 minutes or 5 minutes after the news before placing that trade. Another thing I want to look for a prop firm, and this can always vary based on your style, is do they allow trade copiers? Because one thing I like to do is I like to trade multiple accounts at the same time. There is a downside to that if you're on a losing streak, all your accounts are going to be down. So that's just a preference. Some people like to trade them separately, because if they're on drawdown on one account, they can at least receive a payout on the other accounts. Another rule I look for is consistency rule. I don't like the consistency rule because it doesn't go with my strategy. My strategy mainly just relies on most of my trades should be break evens. I set it up that way. So I should have a 30 to 40% break even rate. And when I do get my winners, they can range from 2 plus R. It can go up to 6R, 7R. So when they have these type of consistency rule, it actually affects my type of trading when it's time to get a payout. So I avoid that firm as well. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Was meaning to talk about that. Because the worst thing is you do all the other steps to prepare yourself to be a trader, to actually, like, let's say you prepared yourself with the other steps that I talked about before, like the requirements of to be a trader. So you're a good trader, and now you're applying, and then the rule catches you off guard, and now you lost your account. One thing I will have to admit, I have to get better at doing, but I be so busy, I be forgetting to do this, is I should get into the habit of checking the rules of each firm I'm trading with at least once a month. The reason why I haven't been doing that because I'm very busy outside of trading. And the reason why I probably think I should start doing that is because prop firms can change rules, and you don't want to be surprised by any new rules that they implemented. So that's one thing as well. The good thing I notice with the firms I'm trading with is if they do implement a new rule, that's only for new accounts. So even if I am getting a new account with the firm, I'll really look over the rules to make sure like everything is the same. Like there's certain firms that, like, for example, my FXify account, when I had bought it, everything was good with the rules. Perfect. That's why I bought my account. I bought the 100K account, passed that, got funded, and then I had bought the 200K account as well because it had the same rules. But now FXify had changed their own rules to now they have a trailing drawdown. So now I wouldn't even get another account in the future with them because of their rule change. Like there's a lot of firms, like you probably would never see me max allocated with just one firm. It was probably gonna be like multiple firms. Like if you ever see me funded, that's why you always see me with different firms, is because every time I feel like they keep changing their rules to something I don't like, and then I end up not getting maxed. Like with Definitive Funding, I was trading that for a long time, and then all of a sudden they don't accept U.S. clients and stuff like that. So I couldn't even trade with them. And then they gave me a little bit of issues and stuff like that. So I didn't even want to get max allocated. And then 5%ers, you can't trade the same account size and copy trade them. I think that's the rule. Or I think it's something like that. I gotta look over it. Good morning, man. Good morning. We're just having some discussions about prop firms and rules about prop firms. So, yep. Greetings. Yeah, was talking, like, what you missed was we was just talking about making sure like the rules of the prop firms actually go with your strategy before actually applying for the prop firm, because you don't want to lose your account because of unexpected rule. Another thing is look for prop firms that don't give too much of a discount all the time as well, or not big of a discount. They have a good structure in the prop firm as well. Because most of the times what you're going to notice is the prop firms that do these high discounts and don't have a good business model, you could tell based on what they do as a company. If they don't, just don't go for them, because they're a high risk prop firm. Because you don't want to be the trader that, you did all the hard work to pass accounts, get to the funded stage, get to a payout just for them to shut down. Yeah, that is the first goal. First goal should be a personal account. But I feel like it's more effective when you use the funded with the funded companies. It's more effective that way. Like me right now, I'm not focused on any like all these luxury stuff or anything like that. I'm mainly a person that I like to focus on investments and stuff like that. Like even outside of trading, I invest in stocks. I have my own little business going on, but those are just tools to help me build money for the personal account and stuff like that. Another one is Darwin X. I talk about it all the time, but that's a good way to gain capital to build a personal account. I've been listening from my PC. I just logged into my YouTube account from my cell phone. That's what's up, man. I hope you're gaining value from this live stream. That's why I usually do it, just to show me executing and show that it's like possible to follow your rules. Show any mistakes I make and like show what my thought process is in terms of what I'm gonna do to fix it. Let me look at the market real quick right now. Like I said, I don't like this type of movement. It looks kind of ugly right here. It looks really ugly. Wait, actually, hold on. It doesn't actually look ugly anymore because now price had rejected, right? And now it's starting to move up. So me checking this lower time frame, it actually looks clean in terms of what this is doing right here. This actually looks way better before. And this is more likely to set up now. Because you remember how I said just a few candles can change the story of what the market is telling you. This actually looks good. So I'm going to prepare something right here. You've been following since the prop firm video. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I hope you like the prop firm video. I thought it was like a fun series. I'm going to be releasing another video next week on an update on those accounts. Yeah, I'm gonna prepare an entry above right here. Like if we can have that pause as long as it's at a low point. 38.76. Actually 38.76. Actually I would have to tighten that up. Yeah. I've been just recently got funded the 5%ers account trading Bitcoin. I see, man. Good job. I'm really proud of you for doing that. You know, it's really hard for people to get funded. So that's really good that you got that done. And then you've been following since the Definitive Funding and Prop Firm video. Yeah, you've been following for a long time. You've been following for a long time because those are like 2023 like start days. See, that's why you found your strategy online and then you back tested that strategy. So I know that gave you the confidence in your strategy. And definitely right, because the market can be your mentor. Market can definitely be your mentor because it's teaching you through those testings that you're doing. What I'm doing right now, I'm preparing to look for an opportunity right now. So I gotta look at it from my phone so I can see if it's still looking clear. Alright, so if I was to set a buy stop, I want to see if price rejects that area as well. So if it breaks back through, then I'm not looking at that area. I'll probably put my stops somewhere right here. It's a decent stop. Let's see what the risk could be.
Ooh, what's that? That's not even a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm doing a small risk on this. Try to work my way back up. Um, Let me see. Trying to see what's going on. There we go. Buy order. Stop. Just getting it prepared. MD 41. Yeah, price is looking extremely good. 41 for 1.71. So I have 2 minutes before I can place my buy stop. So everything looks good. Let me double check. Oh yeah, I didn't put in the risk. Point 50, 80. Okay, there we go. Got 1 minute and 30. So once I set up the buy stop, I'm gonna show y'all the chart if it does set up correctly. All right, so price ended up just clearing the high. So it ended up moving without me right there. Let's see. Yeah. So what I was waiting for that mini pause right here. That would have been a perfect area to wait for it right here. It was rejecting, and I only had a minute before placing the buy stop. Let me see. Is it a good area? This is still a good area. I don't want it to fly too much upwards, because at that point the move already happened. Yeah, like it's, let me observe it just a little bit more. Okay. I think if it clears this high right here, then the move already started. So this right here, 45. Okay. Let me prepare this right here. Man, that didn't even put it up much. Okay, that's whatever. Okay, what is it doing? There you go. I'm still observing it because it has 3 minutes, but so far it's looking like it's going to be invalid, but I'm still going to prepare stuff. I didn't prepare the other one. .18. Alright, just like that. Just like that. And we can look at it. There we go. Alright. Talking back on which are the legit prop firms. I think traders should take into consideration the monthly fixed payout. I think there is a higher chance they're a booking elite traders if they have it. I'm not really sure about that information. If they're doing monthly payouts, fixed payouts, but monthly payouts are still good since the prop firm starts to copy trading at that point. I'm not really sure how that really works. I think, in my opinion, I think it depends on the firms. I think some firms, like even when you get to the funded, I think some of them like when you get to the funded stage, after a while you're consistent, then they will put you to a trade copier and stuff like that. But I wouldn't even know if specifically firms that have like a fixed monthly payout, unless they say it, actually move you to the live account. That would be cool. It's 39 seconds. So if price ends up breaking through this 20, like how it is right here, I'm gonna end up canceling. I didn't even set up my order, but I'm gonna cancel this area that I was looking to enter a buy stop in, and it will basically be better for me because I could find a lower price point in this range to get involved in, probably somewhere lower right here if we can make a move right back up right here. So let's say we close right here, we make a move right here back up above the 50, we paused against the 10 and 20, rejecting, and then I could set a buy stop. So yeah, let me also look at the higher time frame to make sure we're still holding up that 10 and 20. Okay, we're still holding it up so far. Go back to this right here. So yeah, this actually still looks clean in my eyes. Still got the straight move down to that 50. So yeah, now it's just a waiting game to see if we get this happen, this type of movement. And if we don't, we just simply don't take any trades. Also, don't trust on old prop firms that had the 30-day time limit rule. I only like to look for ones after they remove the yeah, that 30 that old rule. I did not like that rule. Good thing I wasn't really trading too much prop firms. Like I started trading the prop firms during that time. Like that was around like mainly the 2020 era, 2019, when they would But I did not like that either. Good thing I didn't take much prop firm challenges in the beginning of my journey, so I didn't really have to experience constantly failing challenges because of the time limit. But that was a really stupid rule. That was clearly meant for all traders to fail. Like one of the first prop firms that didn't have the time. I'm not sure if it's actually true, but when I was really looking into prop firms, that was probably like towards the end of 2021. The first prop firm that I seen that did it was Mint Funding. Cause the only reason I knew about it is because they wasn't really that popular because they got started, but I actually trusted them because my mentor had made that prop firm. And he's not one of them typical mentors that is just showing off cars. He's at all the content on his channel is just pure teachings. Yep, that time limit. That time limit will make any trader fail. Like I guarantee you, if they still had that time limit, I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have failed 30 challenges. I ain't gonna lie. Because I like to be, when it comes to trading, I like to be stress free about my trading. So I'm gonna set my life up in a way where trading is not stress free for me. So if I have a time limit and I need to pass this challenge, oh yeah, I'm blowing them. Like at least phase 2 has 60 days, but what, hell nah. They definitely did make more money back then. If they still, like, if we think about it, if prop firms still had that rule, I don't think none of the prop firms would have shut down. That stupid rule. Like the only rule, like I would say that they can keep is that max drawdown, because the max drawdown of 10% is decent. Like I said, is the 10% max drawdown is decent, but it still doesn't determine if you're a good trader or not. But it's not bad because the company still needs to make money to pay out everybody that's winning. The daily drawdown is actually good too. Daily drawdown is actually good because you should still have max stop losses either way when you're trading. Nah, the prop firm that I really wanted to try, like, I really hate that a lot of these prop firms started not accepting people in the US because I wanted to try Funded Next. And then as soon as I was ready to go on try Funded Next, they said, "Oh, we can't accept you as clients." Because the reason why I really wanted to try them was they had on where they had the thing where they pay you extra for phase 1 and phase 2 when you pass on top of the payout, and you get your refund. Like that's what really made me want to go with them. And then they checked all my other boxes as well. Bro, the trailing drawdown, oh my. The only prop firm that I had traded that had a trailing drawdown. So if y'all don't know, Mint Funding, when they first came out, they had a trailing drawdown when they first came out. I didn't think it was too bad until I actually experienced it. Because in total, I only bought 2 challenges. The first challenge I bought for Mint Funding, I did good for the first month, but then I lost that challenge on the second month. Like the first month, I was so close to passing. I made 6% in that first month. It was early 2022. Then the second month, I lost the account because my balance went back to 0. Like, it was a stupid rule. So after that, I did not, like, I traded on Mint Funding one more time. I'm not sure if they ended up changing that rule at the time, but I know that they ended up, like, definitely getting rid of that rule. That was a terrible one. Yeah, I'm sure I'll feel as well if they edit that rule again. But I'm ready to fund my personal account since I have confidence thanks to the first time. Yeah, that first time getting funded will give you confidence. And then when you get the payouts, that will give you more confidence. Them payouts, man, that's why I'm like, I've been looking over on my trading because I need to lock in to get my payouts again. Yeah, I'm completely not looking at US 30 anymore. We reflush downwards. The story of the market does not look like momentum wants to come in. So the most likely move right here is probably we're gonna continue to chop around until we can finally make some type of move higher. So specifically for US 30, nothing to do right now. The time limit is a retail dream destroyer. Yup. That time limit. I am so glad they removed that time limit. Let me see what the other market is, because US 30 is starting to look trash right now. And then Bitcoin, like, we're overextended in my eyes. So honestly, like, I'm just taking a look over all the pairs on my watch list again to see if anything has set up while I was waiting for US 30. Let's see, GBP USD. Let me see what is it doing right here. So I said we're in this cycle right here. We're still not doing. Actually, we started to make a move on the context time frame. Go down to the validation. This could be the start of something, actually. Yeah, because if you remember in the beginning of the analysis, right? Price, when I hopped on the charts, where was it? Where is it? Let's jump down to a 1 hour. Where is it? Price was right here when I hopped on the charts. I'm trying to make sure that, like, am I seeing it right? Actually, I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna wait a little bit more. I'm gonna wait for more proof. I'm gonna wait for, like, more momentum first. I mean, yeah. That's probably the best bet. Wait for the 5 hour to move some more before starting. Then Euro USD is probably looking the same. So let me look at gold real quick. Gold hasn't moved anything, like, moved significantly. Damn, why I say it like that? It hasn't moved at all. Okay, let's see. Okay, we don't have alignment with time frames. Yeah, so I wouldn't trade that still. So let me see what's going on here. Price is starting to pop its way out on this 5 hour on Starbucks. Okay, I mean, it's not too bad. Like, we flushed, came here, flushed. It's 10:25, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Dropped. Could wait for more of a move because we're still in the flush. I could wait for it. Like, if it closed somewhere right here, that could be a good indication. Let's take a look. definitely not ready. Yeah, definitely not ready. This one wouldn't be ready either. Context flush. This is not ready. What was Meta doing? So Meta was decent. Pause once. So we broke on the daily. Overall bullish. Flushed. 1, 2. Consider this 3, but it's not ready as of right now because we're moving downwards like that. Yeah, it's not ready. Nothing to really do. Yeah, there's nothing for me to do. The markets aren't looking clear at all in terms of like what I'm expecting. Like, I'm probably just gonna have to hop off the charts because for US 30, like, yeah, price could still pop out, but the most likely move when price is in the stage 1 is to continue the stage 1 for a little bit until we can finally break out. So it's not guaranteed that price is gonna break out this session. So I'm gonna end up ending the stream because there's no trades for me to look at. I just re-looked at all the markets. So it's Friday. I'm gonna show up on Monday, do the same analysis, show y'all my accounts, so y'all know that I didn't take no trades outside of the stream, because that's a sign of discipline as well. Trying to show y'all that y'all can be disciplined as well. And yeah, y'all enjoy y'all weekends.